What up, world? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Not For Nothing podcast, while we're everywhere and nowhere at the same time. I am your host, Stevens Ramirez, and today we have a phenomenal guest joining us. If you are dreaming of owning your own home, then get ready to be inspired by a remarkable journey of our guest, Alex Baez. Hailing from the vibrant streets of the Bronx, Alex Baez has not only made a name for himself as a real estate broker, but has become a true powerhouse in the quintessential mortgage group. With an unwavering passion for helping aspiring homeowners elevate their lives, Alex has emerged as a force to be reckoned with in the industry. From modest beginnings to becoming a beacon of hope for countless individuals, Alex's story is one of determination, resilience, and the transformative power of home ownership. He understands that the path to owning a home is often filled with hurdles, but he has dedicated his life to guiding others through this journey with this expertise and his compassion. In this exclusive interview, we'll dive deep into Alex's extraordinary rise to success while we explore the challenges he faced growing up in the Bronx and how those experiences shaped his unwavering commitment to make a difference in the lives of others. We'll also uncover the secrets behind his remarkable achievements as a real estate broker and his individual insight into ever-evolving mortgage industry. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or someone who has been navigating the real estate market for years, this interview with Alex will leave you inspired and equipped with the knowledge, tools you need to turn your dream of home ownership into a reality. Stay tuned as we dive into the topics such as overcoming financial obstacles, finding the perfect home, and mastering the art of mortgage negotiations. Get ready to be empowered by Alex's contagious enthusiasm.
Thank you, man.
His arise of proven strategies and unwavering dedication to help you elevate your life through home ownership. So grab your favorite beverage, find a cozy spot, and get ready for an interview that will leave you feeling motivated and ready to take the next step towards achieving a home of your choice. This is Not For Nothing, and I'm your host, Stevens Ramirez. Welcome, Alex. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, man. This is an honor to be with you. You know, come from the same childhood, man. So sitting down in front of you, it means a lot to me.
Oh, yeah, man. This is glorious. I am appreciative of you just taking your time and taking your moments to just share your insight with the world.
Yeah. You definitely witnessed where I was at, where I'm at today. So
oh, yeah.
This is more than a privilege and honor to even be sitting in front of you, to be honest with you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Thank you. So speaking of humble beginnings, let's take it back to the young Alex who used to travel from and to MSPS 29. You know, how did that Alex shaped up to the man that you are today?
I'll be honest with you, man. I come from the South Bronx, born and raised in the South Bronx. I love where I'm from, because it built the person I am today. It definitely built me mentally strong. And that's what keeps me going and grinding. So being part of PS MS29, pretty tough, that area, right?
Yeah.
As you know, you witnessed, we was actually in the same school, same grade. So I witnessed, you witnessed everything I went through, right? Mm-hmm. All of us, you, me, and every kid that was raised in the South Bronx was tough, mm-hmm. right? So mentally, it's actually good to be raised in a tough area like that because, not most of them come out of it, but I definitely came out of the South Bronx and going to that school, in a tough neighborhood. I mean, it was tough, but we grinded, we went through. Just like you did, I did, and my brother John and everyone else. Man, all I can say is thank you to PS MS29 for meeting you, meeting everyone else that I met there, and mm-hmm. who I am today because of my neighborhood and you guys.
Okay.
Right, and I'm always grateful from where I came from, 100% from the South Bronx. I'm very grateful, and I'll say with a lot of pride.
Okay, so from both being Bronx natives, many people have preconceived notions about the Bronx and often associate it with crime or poverty. Could you share some stories or insight that challenge these stereotypes and highlight the strength and resilience of the community?
You know, people, easily to judge where we come from, right? From the South Bronx, but it comes back to your parent. It all comes down to who raised you, right? Yeah, it's tough, those streets, seeing people sell drugs, seeing people getting in problems, seeing people get involved in all this. So it's definitely a tough neighborhood, and I see why people react to once you say, I'm from the Bronx, people's reaction is, like, whoa. And I understand it, but it all comes back down to who raised you. And I give it all to my mother. She raised us 4 boys, and she was hard on us. She was that mother that she couldn't see me around negative people. For instance, like selling drugs, people that were in gangs. She would instantly get on my case and instantly, point that out. Listen, I don't want you around those type of people. I need you to be big in life. So that always stuck in my mind, Thank God to the mother that I had, that she always took care of her boys and always protected us, right? So I give it to my mom that, from the neighborhood we come from, it's more because my mother was so much discipline on us. At the moment, I didn't understand why my mother was like that. But today, I'm very grateful now that I have my kids, right? And I see why she was so on top of us. So I'm beyond grateful for that. So
I feel like a lot of people don't really understand, like, sometimes having like a parent that's really on your back, and you're just like, yo, man, like, why are you being so tough on me? Until you start having your own children, and then you realize, this is why my parent was so tough on me. Now I understand the implications of it. And seeing how you were so focused on just trying to elevate from the stereotypical norms of the Bronx, I've recently noticed over the years that gentrification is an ongoing issue in many urban areas, including the Bronx. What are your thoughts on the impact of gentrification, and how do you believe it can manage in a way that balance economic development with preserving the character and history of the borough?
So that gentrification, I'm so with it. I'll tell you why. Because it's definitely like, if you look at I like to look at everything positive, right? Okay. When things are happening, right? Yeah. Everybody instantly looks at the negative of it. If you look at the positive, why would I look at it as positive? Because you're bringing people from outside to basically the South Bronx, right? It's changing a lot. And what's going to happen is people are going to start mixing, talking, and then those people in the South Bronx, their mind's going to expand. They're going to start seeing, people are outside coming, telling us the good things of what we should do with life, right? So I'm so with it because of like the positive out of it, right? That people's mentality is going to start changing. The more, outside, the more different cultures come in to the South Bronx, things are going to start changing to the positive, because when you're next to positive people, you turn out to be positive and your mindset start changing. That's the most important thing, is your mindset. Okay. Right? Because we have control of our mindset. So with that's how I feel about it. Right? So I think it's more positive than anything else with everything changing in the South Bronx.
Okay. I like the optimism on that aspect, because as of recent, or in some people's feelings, they feel like, outside sources are coming in, or implanters, so to speak, removing the culture, pushing certain ideologies, and changing the environment, in which it can be a double-edged sword, a good thing or a bad thing, but it does generate more money in the area. That is true. So to just continue that, knowing that the Bronx, the BX, the Bombers, the Bronx is home to iconic landmarks like Yankee Stadium and the Bronx Zoo. How do you think these landmarks contribute to cultural identity in the Bronx, and what role do they play in promoting tourism and promoting real estate opportunities?
So, for instance, I'm a huge Yankee fan, right? So definitely one thing about the Bronx everyone knows is Yankee Stadium. Regardless of what it is, the Yankees, right? Got the most world champions. So once you mention the Bronx, people know the Yankee Stadium. Right? So the Yankees definitely have a big impact with the Bronx in a sense, like positive, because we have one of the best stadiums, right? So everyone that comes to New York want to visit Yankee Stadium. It's a high chance. So things like that is very beneficial to the Bronx, because we need things like that. In a sense, like things that keeps everybody happy and motivated. Seeing places like that, Yankee Stadium, the Bronx Zoo, another place where a lot of great animals are, right? Yeah. So all those things are very good for the Bronx, because more positive things you hear of the Bronx, more people want to visit the Bronx. So I always recommend anyone to visit the Bronx, to invest in the Bronx. I think the best investment right now to me is the Bronx. Right? Because it's up and coming. And I really think it's already there already. The real estate market has gone up tremendously in the Bronx. The Bronx has changed a lot. Yeah. The narrative of how it was before, You know, it exists, but it's not as bad like as people think it is, right? And there's a lot of great people that come out, like me and you, right? That came out of the Bronx, right?
Of course.
So I think it's a lot of good things in the Bronx. I think that negative narrative definitely got to stop of the Bronx.
Oh yeah, I agree. A lot of people didn't know, like back in the history, the Bronx was a rich and vibrant farming area before they turned it into a trash heap. So you could think that, no, that's true though, because you could think if the roles were reversed and actually utilize the land properly, the Bronx would be technically the new Manhattan, technically, but well, that's neither here or there. But what I want to discuss is your journey into real estate. How have you establish yourself into the transition of like, you know what, I want to better myself, I want to better my family, I want to break generational curses and install that hardworking enthusiasm that I always seen over the years and shared, you know, growing up.
Yeah.
How did that came about?
So, like in the Bronx, right? My mom, we were born and raised in the Bronx. We were actually born in 162nd Merrill Street.
Yeah.
So we lived in a building, right? I shared my bedroom with my brother. It was three of us in one bedroom, and I saw my mom struggles, right, in those buildings. See that we had no privacy, we didn't have our own property, and as a child, I always mentioned it to my mother, I want to own a property, Mom. Like, what can we do to own a property? And she's like, you can do it. Just go for it, you know? You know, it was tough for my mother, and I appreciate her. It was a single mother, so it's tough for a single mother to do all this. So being part of it, I was like, you know, I want to own a property. I need to start from the bottom, man. I need to become a realtor and learn actually every aspect when it comes to real estate. And the best thing to do is just become a realtor. And as I became a realtor, it became such a passion for me. Like I could talk with so much passion about it because as I become a realtor, I remember those like when I help buyers or sellers, right? Especially buyers, I see their eyes, I see whether they see the vision because I was in the same position as them, and I always dreamed of a home. So until I accomplished it, I was, you know, it was a huge accomplishment for me to own a home because I always mentioned to my mother and seeing that my mom couldn't do it, you know, at where she was at the moment, you know, it meant a lot to me. So that's what got me into real estate. That passion I had as a child, being a homeowner. That's what got me into real estate. And then after I became a realtor, broker now, it definitely pushed me to help more families. And when I go to those closings, seeing some families cry, some family hugging me, and I become their family, it means a lot to me because I understand their pain. I understand where they were at. I understand how they feel, especially those first-time home buyers touch me. And then when I'm working with them, I give my all. I give it up because I was in that same position. I understand their pain. So it's different from me because I was in their same shoes. So it's not the same. So it's not in the same shoes. Like I was. So I understand how much you want to buy a home for your kids, how much you want to own a home for your family, build all those beautiful memories that everyone wishes and see on, you know, all these shows. You're like, man, I want to do this for my kids, especially my wife. And that's what drives me the most, to be very honest with you. That's what made me become a broker more than anything. And now that I'm a broker, man, it's fun for me. It's not even a job for me. It's fun. I enjoy it. I live it, you know, because it's different. I live for this. And that's the honest truth. I live for what I do for a living. I want to help every family I can that's out there. And it's not only because, the money. No, it's more like, I want you to see what I'm feeling when I build my home. I want you to feel it, especially knowing that you dreamed it, especially if you come from the same area I come from any area. It doesn't matter. Yeah. It's just, I want you to own it and dream it and live it. And you're going to see how great it feels inside. Like you accomplished. Of course, now we got to think about the next accomplishments, right? Because we don't stop. Yeah. That's the way I work. I'm never comfortable. I got to keep going. I got to make myself uncomfortable every time.
Yeah, you're giving me goosebumps talking about this, man.
So that's how I feel about this strongly. So that's the reason I became a broker. And that's the honest truth. It was not more than that. It was just, I want to help more families. After I accomplish it, I told my wife, my goal from now on is help as much family as I can. It's not for business, more for, I want them to feel it. And when I see I help my brothers, I help my sisters buy properties, like guide them, right? And I see their joy and all they tell me is thank you. And that fulfills me completely. So that's what I would like to do for everyone else.
Wow.
Yeah, excuse me.
Oh, wow. Like a lot of people don't know, like, you know, we grew up in the same neighborhood and I always know that you always been a quiet, humble dude. And, but always like, you know, still tough. It's like, hey, I may be quiet, but I'm about that. But it's interesting just seeing the light and the vibrant, of your eyes talking about the job that you do. So my question to you, like, you know, as a broker, you have a deep understanding of the real estate market. Yes. From your perspective, what are some of the biggest challenges and opportunities that exist in today's market, and how do they impact buyers and sellers?
with the market, right now, and I give this to everyone, it's always a good time to buy.
Yeah.
Why? Because tomorrow's going to be more expensive. I always say that. So look at what's going on today, right? Yeah, the market's going up and down, right? We don't know what's going to happen, right? But at the end of the day, why are we focusing on interest rate? Why are we not focusing on the bigger picture? Why are we not focusing on, buying something for your family? It's going to bring so much joy and happiness. Why everyone is just sitting, focusing on interest rate when that's just thinking small? To me, it's thinking small. With all respect to everyone. That's to me, it's thinking small. You got to think big. What benefits can I get being a homeowner? Right? Because when you go buy a car and have all these credit cards, people don't think about the race. People don't think about anything. They just jump it. Right? But they don't see the value and the importance of being a homeowner. Right? So in today's market, yeah, rates going up and down. Of course, the rates are going down right now tremendously. Right?
Yeah.
And they're going to estimate to go more down next year. But that's what it's going to build is more competition. What happened in 2021? Rates went down dramatically. And what did it create? It was like a chaos. People were submitting 50,000 to 100,000 over asking. Waiving appraisal, waiving inspection, crazy contingency. Do you want to be in that position or you want to buy now where it's not so much competition? So for a buyer, I always recommend to be a homeowner, especially your first time buyer. Buy a home. Don't think about it. Buy it. If you qualify, you think about your monthly payments. Don't think about your rate as much because you can always refinance it. Right? So why we're focusing so much on the rates? I really think and disagree with focusing on the rates. So for sellers, sell. If you need to sell. Right? Take advantage of the market. We're going day by day. The market's going up. So take advantage of today's market. Market's doing really good. We at its peak right now, right? Yeah. Inventory is not so high, right? It's still low, right? Homes are still selling, so sell. But for buyers, buy a home. Don't think about what's the rate. Tomorrow's going to probably be even more. What are you going to do if the rate is 10%? We didn't expect the rates to go to 8. Did we? No, we didn't expect it. But it happened. Everyone was at 2.20. We had it at 2.5, 2.25, probably early, low 2s. Yeah. We got 8 within 2 years. What if you sit around and you go up to 10? You know what it is? We've been spoiled for such a long time. And when these couple of years we've been spoiled, if you go to the 90s, the 80s, people are paying 13, 15, 18% of interest rate. I don't care, but if you need a home, you're going to buy. I always tell my team that, people need homes. And we got to always focus on the bigger picture. A home is going to bring you so much benefits, tax purposes, personal goals, your dream with your family. It's more personal. So go for it. Don't think about it. Just do it. Sometimes you just got to throw yourself because I was scared to buy a home at first. And when I threw myself, I'm like, babe, if we qualify, let's buy one every year. That's my attitude now. I need to buy as many as I can for my kids. I got to leave them a legacy. I got to leave some type of wealth for my kids. I want my daughter to be an attorney, my son to be a doctor. I want them to be, big people in life. And through the wealth of real estate, I'll be able to help them pay for college. It's very expensive. Oh, yeah. So, so with me in real estate, it's more also building wealth now for my kids. That's my thing. Building a nice portfolio for my kids. Okay. Guiding them the correct way, and I'm here. That's what I'm here for. Help any buyers and sellers. Okay. That's what I mean. Any question. I'm that realtor that you can feel free to call me. I will answer any questions. I will share you my honest opinion. I'm not that realtor that's trying to hide information from my clients at all. So I'm licensed, right? Yeah. I'm licensed to protect the public. That's why I'm licensed. To guide and protect the public. So my job is to be as transparent and honest with you. If you come to me, I got to give you the honest truth. Where we stand. Buy a home. Don't worry about the rate. Worry about the monthly payments.
See, now that's the interesting stipulation behind there. Because regarding of the monthly payments, I wouldn't mind of the buying of the homes, but then it's always the hook behind your head is can I afford? Can I maintain? Can I consistently keep that in mind? Because the average consumer sometimes are not really financially savvy, especially where we're coming from. We were never taught how to be how to work our budgeting, check our books, making sure not to overcharge our credit cards. We were never shown that. And even now, in our age now, okay, we got to really play catch up. We got to really solidify. Exactly. And we have to teach the next upcoming generation, teach our children, hey, this is how you work your books. This is mind how you spend, save, and then invest. So that's the part where I'm seeing a lot. And as I'm learning and as hearing from you and how you're giving your wonderful insight and being transparent. And I feel buying a home is not just a financial decision. It's often an emotional one as well.
Yeah.
How do you approach the emotional aspect of home buying process to ensure your clients find a place that they truly feel connected to?
When you're buying a home, especially, it's a lot of emotions, and I get it. You know, it's a lot of fear more than anything, especially if you're a first-time buyer. It's a lot of fear. But when you come across a professional like me, that I'm a guy, I'm gonna walk you by your hand, get you to the closing table. You know, all that fear is gonna go away. Why? Because I'm explaining to you every detail on the process of buying. I'm also giving you a lot of tips. And I got great contacts. If anything comes up with your home, I can share you some great contacts, and we could solve any issue your home might come up in the future. But I will always guide you through it. So I understand all those emotions. I'm used to it because I also, when I bought my house, I had a lot of fear. Yeah. Tons of fear. I'm actually the first one out of my family buying a home. So imagine all the fears I had in my heart. Out of all my brothers and sisters and my mom, right? I was the first one. So imagine all the fear I had. And when I took it, I saw that my family came right behind me was like, yo, if Alex did it, I'm going to do it too. Yeah. So I'm happy that I pushed them and motivated them. So I get the fear. You're going to have fear, but I'll tell you something. If you don't pull the trigger, you're never going to do anything. So you have to just throw yourself. And what have you ever heard of homes? All you hear is like, it's going to go down, but it's going to go right back up or even more. That's true. So what are you losing? It's an investment. What are you losing an investment? It's the only business that you're sleeping, that is basically you're producing money because your home is going to value every day, right? As it keeps going. Ooh. So that's the only business besides stocks, right? But real estate is probably the best investment to ever do it. And it's more beneficial because those memories you're going to build with your family, you'll never get those memories. They're unreplaceable. Those memories I have in my backyard with my kids. Yeah. Those are memories that you're always going to have. And it's all about creating memories with your families. Wow. And it's nothing like being a homeowner. It's not just, all right, there's so much benefits, especially at the money going, but it's not only that. It's more about the emotion, like in the sense like those memories you're going to build, unreplaceable. Especially with your kids, unreplaceable. Your wife. See my kids run out back there, and I'm just watching them. I'm like, damn, I didn't have this when I was a child, but I'm happy I was able to do it for my kids. And it just motivates me more and more because I didn't have it, and I always wish this. And I don't blame my mom. I appreciate her. She knows, and I tell mom I appreciate you. I'm this tough kid because of you. Seeing you by yourself as a single mom, what made me the kid I am today, the tough kid I am. When I'm ready, I always tell my wife, it's us against the world. I'm ready. We're ready. We got to grind. We got to go hard for our kids. That's my motivation is my kids and my wife. So knowing this, like I understand a lot of emotion, but trust me, those emotions are going to go away and you're going to build so much memories that you're going to be like, Alex was right. Okay. Guarantee you. Yo, you're your first homeowner. Yo, you hear that, people? You hear that? You guys. Yeah, yo, tune in, man. Guarantee you. Man, I have another question regarding the aspect of broker, right? Yes. Navigating the process of buying or selling can be overwhelmed for many people. What steps do you take to ensure your clients have a smooth and positive experience throughout the transaction? Well, the first thing I would do, and I recommend highly, interview your agent. You have someone that's representing you, which is probably the biggest asset that you're going to be investing in. Investigate your agent. Do your homework on your agent. Check his Zillow, check his Google reviews, check everything. And have a talk with him and tell him exactly what you're looking for. And if you feel comfortable with this agent, move forward. But make sure you do your homework on your agent before you move forward. Because most agents doing part-time. This is like for me, I'm a full-time. This is what I live for, right? It's different than you working with someone that's full-time and the part-time because I live for this. Yeah. Right? It's a totally difference. Right? Because when you're full-time, you get tons of experience, right? So it's very important for you to interview your agent before you hire an agent. And when you interview them, also have them explain to you every process on buying, every single step. Because it's about 10 steps that you need to know before buying a home. So make sure you have that meeting with your agent so him explain to you in detail what's going to happen, where you stand at, where your lender, your buyer. You need to know every details when you're buying, and that's what I do. Every buyer I work with, I at least sit down 30 minutes to an hour with them, explain to them every detail, and also ask them, feel free to ask me questions because I want to control those emotions. Sense like I want you to feel comfortable. I want you to trust me, and then I'm gonna guide you by your hand till you buy your home or sell. So it's very important to have a lot of communication more than anything with your agent. Like me, any calls that come in, answer it. Any calls within an hour or two, you're gonna hear back from me about an answer. But I respond to every text, every email, every calls. Because I want you to feel comfortable. I want you to know, like, you know what? I'll call Alex. He's always available for me.
Yeah.
What that makes you feel comfortable. That makes you feel secure more than anything. And that's what I'm trying to gain with a client is make them feel secure. Like, Alex got my back. Alex know what he's doing. Alex is going to give you the best service. And that's what I'm here for.
Okay, that's a great insight. And I could assume like how this confidence and this reassurance that you have, I know from the starting point when you started this journey, it wasn't easy for you.
Oh.
I know it was a lot of like, trials and tribulations. So navigate us through that aspect, like the starting point to the point that you are now.
That's a great question. So, most people think like you got the license and you know it all. No, it's not like that.
Oh,
at all. So people, I always tell everyone, and anything you do, any business, any work you do, until you don't go in the field, you're not going to gain experience. I could read, I could watch books, I could watch YouTube videos. Until a person doesn't experience it, and I say it strongly, until a person doesn't have experience or experienced it, they won't understand the real estate, right? So one thing I would say is that you have to like select the person that actually experienced it. So like, for instance, me, I've been in business right now going to 8 years now, right? And those 8 years, this is all I do full time. The ups and downs I had, and I had a lot of downs, but I'm that agent. I'm a problem solver. That's what I tell my wife. I'm a problem solver, and I got to figure this out. I don't let no file just collapse. I make sure we go through the file and make sure that we close or help them buy. We make sure because of the experience I have behind it, right? So where I'm at today, when the first year I started, I was only selling 2 homes. Now I'm averaging 40 to 50 homes a year. So there's a lot of experience that's behind it, right? With the amount of time I have now, I have grown fast because I do educate myself a lot. I do go to a lot of seminars. I join a lot of YouTube videos for real estate. So I'm always educating myself on this business and also going through experience with the clients because every transaction is different. Every transaction is there because you don't know what's going on with the homeowner. You don't know anything of the inside until you're involved. So being involved, this is what's going to make you grow. Don't think because they're licensed, he knows everything. No. That's the reason you're supposed to do your research with an agent. See how much experience, how many homes he sold, right? See if he has a team. Like right now, I'm running a team of 5, 6 agents, and my wife is also the mortgage broker. So we provide the full service, right? Because now we got the finances involved. Now we have the full service. So in other words, it's a one shop. You don't have to go anywhere. You know how comfortable it is for the client? Like they only got to come one place and we give them the whole service. If you look at it in that aspect, we're controlling the business in the sense like we want to give you the best quality service because I don't want you to go anywhere else. I want you to see our service and our quality of service. So my wife's a mortgage broker and I'm a real estate broker. So my wife is a full mortgage broker. Also her background, she also got her associates in accounting. So her thing is numbers. So what she's going to be doing is making sure you save a line your closing costs. What is that? Beneficial to the buyer. More less money you pay. You know what I'm saying? Because she's going to protect you. We come from the same neighborhood, my wife too. She's from the South Bronx. She went to BS29 too.
Wow.
So we come from the same neighborhood. We understand everyone's pocket. We treat everyone's pocket like if it's mine. Because I care for my clients like that. It's very personal for me. Because I was in the same position. Right? So for me, it's like I always tell my wife, we got to protect our clients. We got to protect their pockets. Because we were in the same position. Right? And we grew out of it. Thank God. Right? So, of course, we're still growing. Right?
Of course.
I don't believe we're still growing, but we are giving the best service out there. I guarantee you that. We're going to walk you through and we're going to save you tons of closing costs. Guarantee you that.
That's awesome. What's interesting about it, just hearing your story, like knowing that you building a mortgage group, a company amongst family, knowing that you have your wife, your brothers, everyone actively working together. So it's like, hey, I know I got your back, you got my back. And hearing that, how you always educating yourself and making sure, like, there's a philosopher like Socrates, basically. It's like the best action is knowing nothing because you want to learn and actively absorb information. Because that's the path of wisdom. Because now you garnish not only experience of, okay, I buy and sell 1 home, buy or sell 2 homes. Now, as stated earlier, like, now you're selling up to 40 to 50 homes a year now. Now you're getting that comfortability. Now you're getting that stride. So just hearing those actions and how you are generating those numbers and generating those experience and then allowing your company to grow. And as a fantastic individual, because from what I'm hearing, from what I'm seeing, and definitely knowing that you're active in your community, diversity and inclusion have become an important topics across various industries. How do you ensure that your brokerage is inclusive and representative of the communities you serve? What benefits do you see in promoting diversity within the real estate industry?
So I'm happy you mentioned that. So not so long ago, about 6 months ago, Miss Hall, I don't know if you remember her.
Oh, Miss Hall,
Called me to go do a graduation thing. And for me, it was an honor. Why? Because I was in their shoes. That's where I came from the South Bronx, from PSMS 29, where we all graduate from, right?
Of course.
So it was an honor for me to go back to my community, to give them a speech and share how I'm getting there. I'm making it little by little, right? I'm surviving my wife and my kids, and how we used to be from the South Bronx, we're not there anymore, right?
Yeah.
So I'm letting them know, like, everything's possible, right? I gave them all the insight where I stand. I told them all the benefits of real estate.
Yeah.
I always invest into real estate because when I was growing up, I feel like no one spoke to me about real estate, right? It was just more like seeing all these homes nearby, building those 3 families that are right next to PSMS 29. I was like, wow, these houses are so nice.
Yeah.
That's what really drives me being a homeowner. And I was letting them know, like, whatever you do, buy real estate, regardless of what you do, because it's the most beneficial basic wealth you're going to build for your family yourself. So I put it in them. And also what I do too, I try to go to these communities, also give out pizza. Me and my wife give out gifts for the holidays. So we give to the community as well, because that's where I came from, right? And it means a lot to me that I go back to this community and give out food, gifts, and whatever I need to. And I always ask people that I know, like, invite me. I'll come and I'll give to the community. That's what I'm here for. Wow. It's about giving back. It's not just everything to your pocket. It's about giving back to the community and sharing this. It might be someone else out there. When I was doing the speech, I did witness a lot of kids looking at me with like bright eyes. And I was like, wow. Kids come up to me saying, I want to buy a house. And that meant so much to me. In the graduation, after the graduation, I had a couple of kids like, hey, can you give me a business card? So I give it to my parents. Of course, I was like, if your parent comes to me and asks me, I'll give it to them because they're kids, right?
Yeah.
So it meant a lot to me. A lot of kids coming up to me, asking me for my business card because they dream of a home too for their parents.
Wow.
Because they come from the same community as us. So that meant a lot to me. So I did that speech. I was so happy. Of course, my first speech I ever done. I've never done a speech.
Okay.
And I could not say no to it. It definitely broke me out of my comfort zone because I was nervous to hell, right? But I noticed that I'm going to impact a lot of people with my speech. And I'm happy I did. Wow. I put the video up. I have it on my page. It was about 5-6 minutes speaking from my heart to the public. And it was probably the best speech I will never forget.
Wow.
And anyone out there, man, if you need me to come to anywhere, any neighborhoods, I'm open to it because I came from these particular neighborhoods, right?
Yeah.
The same neighborhood. So I'm here. I would love to go give out to the community. Love to go speak to kids more than anything. That's one thing I'm doing now. It's like, that's another thing that I put into my agenda. It's like going to the community speaking. And to know how important it is to be a homeowner. And the best thing is to put in these kids because they have a future, like they say, right? So if you ever need you guys to go out there, I would love to do it. Give to the community and speak to the community. So
wow, just imagine like that simple speech and having the youth coming up to you. You may not know, you probably inspired the next upcoming real estate brokers.
Exactly. Yeah, I see them in the field.
Oh yeah.
It'd be an honor.
So we've been dabbling a lot in between of the real estate and the brokerage. But what's interesting, as technology always advances and pushes things, and the AI and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
In today's digital age, technology has changed the way people search for and buy homes. How has technology transformed your approach to real estate, and what opportunities and challenges does it present?
I think it's more opportunities than anything with the technology, because now I reach out to more people. With the social media, right, doing these videos, my goal is to reach out to as many people and help as many people as possible, right? I love to help people that need the service, right? You want to buy or sell. So I would look at it more in positive, that I'm able to reach out more to the community, reach out to everyone. Once they give me their emails, their contact information, I reach out to the text, email, just keeping them updated what's going on with the market, motivating them to buy a home or sell. Yeah. Right? Because what I'm selling is something that's going to be beneficial to you. It's not like I'm selling cars or credit cards, right? Yeah. I'm actually selling something that's going to build wealth for you. So it's different in our aspect because I know people are not a fan of salespeople. Yeah. But I don't look at it like that when it comes to our business, because it's more like beneficial to you. So we're selling something that So sooner or later, you're going to be paid and you're going to be holding wealth on your property. And it's so beneficial to be a homeowner. So for me, like, I look at it like more like technology has helped our business in the sense like reaching out to more people, letting them know my message across. Yeah. Why real estate is so important. Why is it so important to buy a home? So my thing is more like positive. Like, I think technology is better than ever because the message gets across to people what you want them to hear. For instance, like this podcast, right? It's going to reach out to some people, right? And they're going to give it some thought. And that's all I want to just plant seeds on people. And then sooner or later, whenever you're ready, I'm here. Yeah. I'm that person. Feel free to contact me. Feel free to call me. I answer any questions for free when it comes to real estate. Only real estate.
All right. Oh, most definitely. I'm going to add all his information down in the description. So you definitely can hit up Alex. So it's interesting that comes into place because I know that when you purchase a home, it's already your living investment as long as you maintain it and upkeep it, right? Yes. That's a living investment. And how we are already in the post-pandemic and how, like, everyone's slowly recovering and some people are still affected by it. Cool. And my question to you is, like, the pandemic had a significant impact on many industries, including real estate. How has the market changed as the result? And what advice can you give to potential home buyers and sellers in the new landscape?
All right. I would say when the pandemic happened, it was sad, right? For all those people that we lost, but it was more beneficial to the real estate market. I'll say why. The rates went as low as 2.5. That's called history right there. Oof. Due to the pandemic, the rates went down so much. What it did, it opened the doors for a lot of people that didn't even qualify. So a lot of people came in applying and were getting so many high loans because the interest rate was just 2.5. In other words, they were giving those loans out to give people the opportunity. So when the pandemic happened, the business went skyrocket. I was selling homes, showing them videos of the house, which, you don't really see that. I was selling homes like with videos. People were submitting offers with video because due to the pandemic. So I think the pandemic actually opened the doors for a lot. For a lot of people. Yeah, right now the rates went up, so it definitely has slowed down. In the sense like, for you to qualify, people are not putting 1 or 2 people in the loan, right? So but when the pandemic happened, it was so beneficial. Not beneficial that happened. Yeah. The market itself, thank God we had Donald Trump as the president. His rates, he helped the economy, the strongest economies when he was the president. Yeah. So he definitely helped out the industry with the real estate. And the rates were, they were great. 2.5. Man, that's history, man. Everyone was refinancing their houses. Jesus. It was like the market was the best of the time was when the pandemic happened. I mean, I was selling homes with my eyes closed almost. That's how people were calling me, right? Like, I would put a listing up. I will sell houses within 20, 25 minutes. I'm not even joking. Wow. Once I put it up, it was a bidding. People weren't even seeing the house. There were submitting offers. $50,000 to $100,000. I was selling houses for. It's ridiculous. Wow. This is true story.
Wow. I bet you like, yo, shut up, take my money. Just take my money. Let me go.
Or taking it personal, like, in a sense, like, with me, like, getting upset with me because I didn't accept their offer. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. He just gave me an offer over asking. No contingency of mortgages. No contingency of appraisal. It was just like some ridiculous contingency.
He's going to say no.
So, me as the honest realtor I am, I have to be transparent with my seller and present these offers. Wow. Because I got a job to do at the end of the day, right? Yeah. So I got my duties, right? My clients. So it was buyers that would take it personal. I have no control of what was going on. What I do is, all I am is a messenger. I deliver the message. This is what we have on the table. Selling homes, $50,000 to $100,000. I just saw one about recently, $150,000 over asking. That's the motivation behind it, right? So just have that in mind. Yeah. So it was more beneficial than anything.
So since hearing that experience, and as a broker, you have likely come across unique and interesting properties. Can you share any memorable stories or experiences from your career that showcase the diversity and the charm of your real estate market?
These stories, man. You mean like something like
something that probably made you felt like, wow, like I'm genuinely doing this and this is my calling. Like properties that like this can definitely be beneficial to this person.
I mean, most properties I come across, I feel like it's beneficial to the next family that's coming in. Really thinking hard, 'cause, man, I even forget the addresses that I sold already.
Wow.
That's how many homes we sold. So we do got a lot of stories, right?
Yeah.
I do have stories like, for instance, like a lot of buyers that buy a home in their first time, just cry at the closing. They don't believe it. I got clients that come up to me and be like, are you sure you can make this happen? Are you sure? Because their doubts are so high.
Yeah.
So me putting that confidence in them and making it happen for them, they cry at the closing and hug me tight, right? Or hug my wife because they have so many doubts, right? Because they come from the same like neighborhoods I come from, right? So that's one of the stories I would say like that I had. I will never forget that the husband and wife came to me and my wife and was crying because they couldn't believe that they could have bought a house since we walked them all from the process from start to finish, buying a home. And, that brings me a joy in a sense, like, not saying I want to see people crying, but seeing like they thought it couldn't be, it was impossible, just like I felt like it was for myself. Yeah.
Wow. And the concept of home ownership has evolved significantly over the years, and with changing demographics and preferences, how do you see the future of home ownership, and what impact might have it on the real estate agent?
One thing I do see, like I said, the American dream, right, is being a homeowner.
Of course.
One thing I do see, I see a lot of millennials like are very interested in buying homes, and I think it's due to social media that is expanding, and most of the millennials are opening their mindset of being homeowners. And I do see a lot of young couples like myself, you, soon, right?
Yeah.
I see that a lot of millennials want to buy homes for their kids and for their family, of course, for their wives. So I did see that what I'm seeing on the market is a lot of millennials are coming in the field to buy homes, and that's good. A lot of them. I'm like a lot of people that we come across. It's a lot of millennials out buying homes now. So it looks good that millennials are thinking like that, like buying a home for their family.
Yeah.
And I think it's more because of social media, YouTube, all these channels. It's good because it's expanding their mindset. Because millennials before weren't thinking of being homeowners as when I witnessed growing up. Now I'm seeing like it's a lot of millennials that are homeowners. So I think that's one of the big impact that I've been seeing in the real estate, that a lot of millennials are becoming homeowners. And that's great.
That's interesting coming from your perspective, because like how you're seeing like a lot of millennials and a lot of people our age demographic purchasing homes and doing that, versus in how social media is showing the negative aspects of it. It's like, oh, can you pay for daycare? Like you have to sacrifice either like maintaining your bill or your mortgage, or paying for daycare, or just trying to make sure that you're staying survival or afloat in this economy. So it's like, it's interesting hearing from that type of perspective, because I don't hear that. You don't normally see or hear that. So you sharing that, it's amazing.
Yeah. So I'm definitely seeing a lot of millennials, and it touches me a lot. And that's the reason I'm very committed to making more videos for you guys, because I want to reach out to more people and help them build wealth. That's what I'm here for.
Well, that's important. So
that's what I'm here for, and that's the reason I'm going to continue. And I'm committed more than anything is doing more videos for my public.
So now, since we dived in a lot into your broker and real estate experience, but a lot of us don't know the complications or the uniqueness of fatherhood, of commitment, and of balancing parental commitment and career commitment. And fatherhood is often described as a transformative journey. Can you share one of the most surprising or unexpected, lessons you have learned since becoming a father, and how has it changed your perspective on life?
Oh my God, man, that's a deep question, man. I'll be honest with you, and I will always say that when you become a parent, you're never ready.
Of course,
because you don't have no experience. And like I said earlier, till you're not in that position and actually experience it, you not understand what it is to be a parent.
Yeah.
Right? Now, you're going to start thinking like how my parents were when I was a kid, right? Why they were like that? Why my mother was so on top of it? Why was she? And now I live for my kids. Now I'm always worrying about their behinds, in the sense like making sure that I'm guiding the correct way, being the best example, best father I can to my kids. And that's my biggest thing, is like giving my kids everything, more than anything, education and love to my kids. And being a parent is when you really open your mind, in a sense like, have a really motivation. I have something to really strive for now. And my kids are everything to me. And my wife knows it. Like, they're everything. So being a father was the best thing that happened to me. It's definitely a lot of challenges, right? Because definitely, the father that I had wasn't the best example, right? But I learned from it. And it actually more beneficial on my end because I witnessed a father that really wasn't a great father. So that's the father I don't want to be.
Yeah.
So it's more in a sense like, I don't want to follow that route, right? And I was like, I need to be the best father because I didn't have the best example. How I felt as a child, I don't want my kids to feel like that about me. So that's what drives me to be the best father. It's, witnessing the father I had and not who I am today. So that really pushed me to be the best father I can. And I'm always thinking about my kids at all times. So, some people, I definitely want to make something clear. I think a lot of people have this bad narrative of you had a bad father, you're going to be a bad father.
Yeah.
Definitely opposite for me. Because for me, it's like, I had a bad father. Guess what? I'm not going to copy what he did.
Yeah.
I witnessed it. I was a child. I was his son and I witnessed it. That's not the person I want to be when I grow up. So knowing this, I'm going to make sure that I'm there for my kids, provide for my kids, and more than anything, give them love and guidance. Because that's all we need. It's a hug and the kids, as a father, right? Yeah. So I'm going to make sure my kids always have their father there present. I go to my son's graduation. I go to all my kids' events. My wife would say, I don't miss anything. Yeah, my business is in the line, but my family is first.
Wow.
And for me, family is bigger than my business. Yeah, it's my passion, but my family, my kids, my wife is everything to me.
I think that perspective is very, common because it's like a lot of people would think fathers aren't actually active. Fathers don't do as much. And especially those who were raised in single mother homes and stuff. Sometimes some individuals will think up of the father. And it's like, you know what? I'm going to emulate that idea. I'm going to be better. I'm going to show love. And some men do fall short and it's not uncommon, but those that actually stuck it out and actually hey, you know what? I'm going to change the demographic. I'm going to break the mold. I'm going to break this generational curse. You and I are fathers.
Yeah.
And sharing just the different perspective of wow, I made my people. I am their leader and just guiding them. It's like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to be the navigator and give you the tools and the tutelage to guide yourself what we call life and how we can overcome. And every child is unique. And as a father, it is important to understand and support their individuality. Can you share a story or a moment when you realized the importance of embracing your child's uniqueness and how it influenced your approach into fatherhood?
Like my son Levi. It reminds me a lot of me. Wow. As a kid. And, I needed that parent to be tough on me. If my mother wasn't tough on me, God knows where I would be right now. God knows where I would be in the streets, doing the wrong things. My son, of course, he's a good kid, but his mindset's too advanced for his age, and he thinks he knows it all. And I was just like that, right? So it reminds me so much of me. So my son, it's like this week that passed, I went away with my wife for business, right? And my mom stood with them, and my mom was telling me her eyes watery, this kid is just like you when you was a kid. And I see it every day. Oh my God. So I know exactly how to handle him, how to guide him. You guys gonna need that tough father in his life, right? And that's who I am. So I'm also gonna be pushing him to his max. But when I see my son, it reminds me so much of me. So definitely, I'm gonna guide my son the right way. My daughter, she's a girl, so I look at her differently. Yeah. That's my little princess. So my daughter is a little more different because she's a girl. I'm that father. She don't know, but she definitely got me her palm of her hands. Oh, wow. And she melts me in seconds. She could be crying and she could be doing something wrong. Dad, and come and hug and kiss her. You're my little girl forever. Care how old you are. Oh my God. It's it's two different jobs and it's two different personalities. Yeah. So we got to learn how to balance it. And that's when it gets interesting because you got to learn how to balance it. But I think with a kid, and it's tough for me to even say it, it's just love is going to help him. Because I think being that tough father, hitting him and doing all that abusive thing, that's not an assault. I think giving a child a lot of love, like Mom did to me, in those moments I wasn't probably acting up. I was love is what's going to guide the kid the right way. I like that. I think it's love and attention, but it's all have to be love. That being mean, that screaming, that hitting, that's not going to solve anything. of a child because that's all he's going to remember. But when you give love to a child, like my mother did to me, I had a lot of anger. I used to be very angry. I used to be dead because of the father I had. And my mom was that woman that just loved. And she fulfilled everything for me and taught me like love is what brings more joy than anything else and helps out more people. And I think I'm all about love and being positive. That's one thing. So I would say with love and positive, you know, you'll raise your child the way you want them to be raised. That's one thing I would suggest. So just give love and be positive.
I like that. I think a lot of people kind of misconstrue of being like, you know, fair but firm. Like, I'm going to show you love, but I'm also going to be fair when you, like, you know, when you do wrong. Like, hey,
Of course.
like, you know, you're not a pushover, but life doesn't work that way. And I see the glow when you talk about your family. And I can definitely empathize that wholeheartedly, especially if we're talking about our wives or our children, and it's this sense of pride and the blessings that you know, God has bestowed upon us. Like, yo, like, wow, I'm so blessed to have this. Like, I would never imagine to being in this position.
We'll never take it granted.
Oh yeah, like, you know, any day it could be like that. And I always often like to talk about fatherhood and seeing the implications of it, because it's like it has its own unique journey, because you're balancing the emotions of your children, but also balancing your emotions with your partner, and then just trying to stay even keel, so to speak.
I want to add something there, man.
Yeah.
I always tell my wife this. Childhood is very important. Childhood it's like, you want to get to know someone, think about their childhood. Because for me, it's very important. I want to know where you came from, how you are, and why. Because with your childhood, now I can relate to you and see, okay, he's like this because of this. Yeah. Your childhood is so important. So you mentioned that to me. It's like childhood is so important. Like, you didn't know this about my father and all these personal things, right? No. I'm a person, I'm open to it. You know why? Because other people out there in the same situation. And I'm a person like, don't use that as an excuse that your parent was like this. Yeah. And you're going through the same rub. Oh, yeah. And you witnessed it. Yeah. Right. So that's why I'm really strong about, you know, it's good to have a bad parent because it's going to make you a better parent. I say that to everyone. You experienced it. So why are you doing it? Yeah. So I'm very strong about that. But childhood to me is so important. And you got to, as you become a father, I do see my issues. Like, I'm talking about myself. Oh, I see my issues. And I'm looking at myself, I'm like this because of this, and that. Yeah. My childhood, they did this to me. Oh, yeah. So, guys, look at your childhood. Childhood is so important. Reflect on your childhood. Like, why am I like this? Do this. I'm always thinking about, how can I better myself? And one thing I do, that a lot of people don't do, guys, point out all your issues. You have to point out your issues. How I look like pointing out your issues, but I'm not pointing my issues. Oh, yeah. So how am I going to grow as a person if I'm not doing that? 100%. So if I want to grow as a person, I want to be a better father, I want to be a better husband, I want to be a better this. Yeah. I got to point out my issues for us to grow. But we're not going to grow. Well, my family's not going to be the family that I dream of. If I don't point out my issues, it starts with the leader. I'm the leader of my family. Yeah. I'm the provider. I'm this, I'm that. Right? So it starts with me. So I need to help myself and look at my child and be like, that's why I'm like this. I can't continue this. I can't do this because I'm hurting my family. Oh, wow. And when you start thinking like that, out the box, and you point yourself and you start pointing at yourself, you're going to grow as a person. 100%. Oh, wow. And I've still got a lot to grow, guys. I'm not perfect. And I say that very happily. I'm not perfect. I still got issues to grow. And when I do things, I sit down with my wife and I'm like, I'm sorry I'm like this. I did this and that because my childhood was like that. Yeah. And it gets more when you, with your, especially your partner, right, valuable person in your life, and you open up to that, you start little by little growing. It's not going to happen instantly, but you grow. Oh, yeah. You grow. I'm telling you, you grow. So stop pointing out your issues. Like, see your child. Go back. Why am I like this? Why? And more thing, importantly, I would say another tip I would share is if something bad happens to you, consistent with different people, you have an issue you need to fix. Oh. And I'll say it to my wife. If we, like, you keep having bad relationship, you keep, something's happening. Yeah. You have some things, you have issues you need to fix. We all do. That's normal. I don't want to, make anyone feel guilty, right? Yeah. We all do. I do. I can say that probably. And I'm a guy, I'm open. I share everything. Why? Because I want to grow. Yeah. And if I'm open to you, and I sit here and just lie to you guys and be like, I had the best parenting, I had this, I lie to myself. Like, that's the reason I'm so transparent. Yeah. Sometimes transparency can hurt others, but I prefer to be honest. They just come and lie to you. That's how I am. My wife knows that. So it's better just being transparent with me. That's the reason, if I'm transparent with my clients, it starts with my household. And that's the reason I'm transparent with her. My wife knows my whole life. Before we got married, and while we being married, if she asks me a question, she knows I'm gonna give it to her. She might not like it, but remember, I was a kid. That's not me anymore.
Oh, wow.
So it's all about being honest. And that's what's gonna take your family to the next level. Of course, we're all working on it, right?
Oh, yeah.
But that's what's gonna take your family to the dream home, dream family, dream team that you want. Because I want a dream team with my kids and my wife.
Oh,
That's my goal. I want to build a beautiful legacy with my kids, but guess what? I want to enjoy it with them, with my wife, my kids.
I like that.
And my lovings, right?
Mhm.
So I just want to just share those tips.
Oh no, like I could add on to that too, because like since we're already opening this box and like understanding like even on my end, like I had to understand my childhood trauma. I had to understand that like, you know, I was forced to grow up instead of enjoying my childhood. Like even though I had both my parents, I was
The oldest?
yes, I am. I'm the oldest.
So the oldest always go through it more than anyone else.
Oh,
I strongly agree on that.
oh, bruh.
Because my son goes through it because he's the oldest.
Oh yeah, it's like dang, it's like dang.
Expectation is like,
Already up here, it's like yeah, I'm the third parent technically, right? And I'm just here, but that's just so interesting to hear that because even for me, I always explain to my wife, Kim, I tell her like, hey, you know, I may be the head of the house, I may be the face, but remember, the woman is the soul of the home, the heart of the home.
exactly.
So I'm like, if I can go face the world and like take the brunt, I would expect that the home can be a safe sanctuary for us and our children. And even though like, you know, looking at myself and holding myself at accountable, like, okay, what have I done? Have I been a good person? Have I been a good friend? Have I been a good brother? Have I been actively, you know, engaging with people? And then if I'm like, okay, I'm a hermit crab, I'm gonna shut myself in, I'm gonna focus. Like even right now, I haven't been actively engaging amongst my community. I've been, you know, grinding, making sure getting my education up, making sure getting my physical fitness up, making sure trying to lead my family into the direction. And even so, it's like the journey is there. It's like, okay, what is my journey? How should I start? And it's like always repeatedly, always in the pandemic, there's one day or day one. Right? The Rock, one day or day one. And even now it's like, I already started my day one. And now I'm like, I gotta run through it. I gotta make sure. And actively hearing your story, it's like, wow, I'm facing a mirror and it reflects a lot. Cause it's like,
It's great.
if you hear from other guys or other active men in their family or in their community, it's like, hey man, how you doing? All of us can empathetically understand I'm I. We won't have to dive deep. We understand that slogan, I'm high, because we're just already facing it through. We hear how other people like, oh, you know, woe is me. Oh, I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And it's like, you see the experiences that happen. You know the outcome. So why repeat it? You are in your own control. You're already outside of your parents. You're already outside of there. You have control of your own actions. And then there's always like how people's like, oh, this person did wrong me. This person did wrong me. This person did wrong me. And then you don't look at yourself in the mirror and you don't think, have I wronged them?
I think we all tend to point to others.
Oh, yeah.
And I always tell that to my team, my wife and everyone. See what you did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Point out what you did wrong. So the next relationship you build, you won't do the same mistakes.
Oh, yeah,
I
100%.
always say that. And one thing, like I just want to share a story that might motivate some people.
Oh, yeah.
When I was younger, I used to tell my mother, Mom, at 18, I'm out of your house. Because my mom was too tough on me. And I understand now. And guess what? That was the best thing that ever happened to me. So at 18, I think I turned 18 in July. In August, September, I would say, what I can recall, I left my mother's house. And since then, I haven't came back. Because I told my mom, she was laughing. She was like, you won't be able to pay rent. Guess what, guys? I started renting a room. I didn't start even in an apartment. I started renting a room.
Wow.
And from a room, and now I'm a homeowner. So just know that I really came from like struggles, fighting, kept going. And one thing I always say, your mind is like a muscle. You have to build your mindset.
Oh, 100%.
So if you don't have a strong mindset, you have to learn how to have a strong mindset before you achieve any of your goals. Because one thing about me, my wife could tell you, one thing about me, I could be probably, we have our days we're down.
Oh, yeah.
Guess what? Next morning, I'm up and running like, oh yeah, let's go. Let's get it. That's my attitude. Like, I came from the South Bronx, let's get it.
Consistency.
Consistency is what takes us far, right? So one thing I did was just have in mind that from a literally a little room renting, I was paying and that time I was paying like $125 a week. That was a lot for me at that time. And from there, look, I am today. But it's more like I don't brag. That's one thing. I don't like bragging. It's just I want to motivate you guys. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There's space for all of us. I will say that. There's space for all of us.
100%.
Go get your home.
Like, look at this table. There's more room for people to sit around.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
That guy, like, go get your home. There's space for all of us. I'm not the only one in this world. I want to get my blessing. I want everyone to get their blessings.
Oh, yeah.
We're here, right? Well, let's all go after our blessings. Positivity. Anything that people, it's one thing I have to, that when people come and ask me a question, they say it's probably negative.
Yeah.
Turn it into positive. Look at the positive of it.
Yeah.
Other than them, look at the positive of it. That's me. I don't know if you notice, every response is all
positive.
Because my thing is like, can I just, for what I'm going to go into the negative and whine and cry about it? No, let's go straight into positive. How can we turn every table to positive?
Yeah.
And if we do that, what's going to happen to our life?
It changes.
Changes completely.
You know what, man? Like, just hearing you and seeing how passionate, like, and I can only imagine, like, your parenting style. And, like, you know, parenting styles can be various amongst any situation. And there's no one size fits all approach. How would you describe your own parenting style? And how do you navigate the challenges of finding the right balance between discipline and nurturing?
I'll be honest with you guys.
Yeah.
Parenting is new to me, right? I'm still working on it. And I have a beautiful wife that she checks me quickly before she sees something that's not right. For instance, she makes sure I don't miss any of my kids' important days, like, you know, their birthdays, of course. Like, for instance, graduation, all this stuff that's important for a child.
Yeah.
She makes sure I'm there. Like, she would just like, hey, we gotta go. Like, that's how she speaks to me, because she knows I'm so overwhelmed with work, right? I'm the provider, so I'm overwhelmed with work all the time.
Yeah.
But one thing, my wife, and I thank her, she had a great parenting, so she knows what it is about being married. Her parents are still married for like over 30 years, right? So she comes from a background like that. So she always keep me on the check, which that's what we need. We need a partner to keep you checked. Like, listen, you shouldn't do this. Listen, don't talk to Lima like this. Because, of course, from the parenting I got from my father, I come in a little aggressive to Lima, which I'm working on it.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you that right now. I'm working to be a better dad. Yeah, I'm there for them. I love them. But if it wasn't for my wife that's on me and is guiding me and telling me and checking me, because that's what you need, someone to check you. That's, to me, the person that loves you got to check you.
Oh, 100%.
The person that supports you when you're wrong, they don't love you. I always say that.
Yeah.
You have to be honest. So she checks me all the time, and I appreciate her. You know, she always checking me, especially when it comes to being a parent, because she knows, oh, I'm strong as a kid. She knows. So when she sees certain things, she's like, it's not his fault. Wow, that's what he went through as a child, but let me correct it. Let me guide him. And she was like, how you felt in that position? How you felt at that moment? And it touched me. Sometimes I come downstairs here and cry alone. I'm like, she's right. I was wrong. But that's one thing I have, that I brainstorm for everything. That the more I might be defensive, because something I have bad I have to work on, I might be defensive, but when I'm by myself here in my office, I'm like, damn, wife was right. And I'll go back and like, yo, I'm sorry, pack up your bags, let's go. And I'll take them somewhere like, you know, Kalahari, places like that. I will take my son to, like, you know, let him know, like, I'm sorry, kid, I love you. You know,
And it's not personal.
It's not personal. It's just my child is not the best, but trust me, I'm fighting and I'm gonna be good.
You know,
We all are.
You know what's crazy about that? Like, it's interesting, like having a solid woman behind you, because then it's like your thinking, your critical thinking skills like amplifies even more. Because we men, we're males. We tend to like, all right, let's look at this rationally. Like, even when we get high emotion and then we go crazy, we go extremes, or not extremes, but we level out, and then we just, all right, what did I did wrong here? What did I do wrong here? What did I do wrong here? But then having someone else to like, hey, how do you feel about this? And it's like, what do you mean? We've been so conditioned to suppress, to work through, because it's different because I have a daughter, and it's different on my end, because I'm like, all right, I gotta be firm but soft. I'm like, you know, even with my voice and how strong it is, she gets scared. I'm like, oh, I get down to her level. I'm like, hey, I'm not mad at you. I'm here. I'm like, I'm here with you. I just want you to understand. And it's different, because it's like, okay, how can I approach this without being too aggressive? Or like, how can I speak in a tone that's like inviting? And I wasn't so used to that. Like, I had the luxury of having, like, you know, not the luxury, but I had both my parents growing up versus my other siblings.
Well, I saw your dad before, man. He's a very nice guy. He gave you a great example. And what I witnessed when he used to bring you to the bar shop, you guys to come over, I'm like, you definitely got a great, of course, not everyone's perfect, but I know you got a great example. So now you're going to becoming a dad. I can see why you're such a good dad too. You know what I'm saying? Because I see it.
Oh, thank you.
Look, man. Your social media.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll definitely give you props, man. You're a great father.
Oh man, I tried, and even then I was just like hearing how strong and comfortable you talking about your wife, and I can definitely like shine to that. I was like, oh hell yeah, like my partner's there for me, and like I'm not perfect neither. I'm like, hey, I'm still figuring things out, still doing things, and learning to take care of my tribe. Before, like before we even get married, our brothers and sisters was our immediate family.
Yeah.
Now that we're married and we have our own, they are our immediate family, and they become extended. Even though, like, hey, I'm not forgetting. I'm gonna call you. I'll make sure.
Of course. If you're married, you understand what we're talking about.
Yeah,
100%.
100%.
It's not.
And just now, just like hearing the growth and the changing of ideals is very interesting, because a lot of people won't know, like, when we think on point, like, okay, how can we're solution based people. We're solution based. Once we hear a problem, all right, this is how we're gonna fix it. Before we're like, oh, let's talk it out. No, the problem's here. This is how we're gonna fix it.
Exactly.
And a lot of people don't like that, because it's like, oh, why you already have a solution? Because I want to get this problem out the way so I can face the next one. And it's always a demographic that always changes. So I want to hear about you, about Alex. Like, we often look at external sources for validation and acceptance, but how important is self-acceptance and self-love in our journey towards happiness? Have you struggled with self-acceptance? And if so, what practices or mindsets that shift have helped you in the greater good of cultivating it?
So, like we were talking earlier, we definitely always, I think it starts off always with yourself.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're the leader or not. It starts with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say it starts with observing yourself, right? Because you as a person, you know your issues.
Yeah.
Right? You don't like them for people to tell you, but you know your issues. Most people don't, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you as a person, you have to look for, how can I better myself? Because remember, there's people relying on you. And most of the cases, your wife or your kids. In our case, it's our wife and our kids. Mm-hmm. So that this reflects, right? You have these kids watching you, like 24/7.
Oh yeah.
Right. And seeing all your moves, because I used to do that to my parents, right? Mm-hmm. And seeing that they're witnessing everything, you as a person need to instantly see your issues and point them out and work on it instantly, right? It's going to take time, right? And also one thing that I do is, and it helped me a lot, I used to never really speak about my past, speak about certain things in my life. Like, for instance, my father was a big trauma for me, right? Mm-hmm. So it's big for me to even speak about this. But I noticed that with time, why hide it? Let me just say it, right? And it might touch other people that are out there.
Yeah.
Most parents, most dads, you was lucky, right? Thank God. But most dads, give us the worst examples. And me seeing those worst examples always as a child, be like, I would never be like that. And I always tell my brothers, my sisters, that now that they're parents, I always remind them, like, listen, guys, I love you guys, but never be like that. I always say that to them, And with, when you're trauma as a child, all that stuff you go through, it's very important in your life to instantly fix it, get help for it sometimes. And this is very beneficial for you as a person. Mm-hmm. And to speak about it, always speak about it. Yeah. People just stay quiet. You want to know something? I think that's where I got a lot of anger as a child. Yeah. I never spoke about it. It was just always inside. I never came out like how I am now, open, because I don't really care about it anymore. Because that's not me. I'm not that person anymore. Do you think that's like society kicking in onto that one? Because they always condition us to like, hey, suppress it, don't talk about it. Or whenever we do talk about it, people weaponize it against us. So then it's like, for me to open up, why should I talk? You said it all right there. I mean, the thing in the reality is this, that society always trying to hurt people. Yeah. Society's always trying to hurt you. Mm-hmm. So when they have something, a weapon against you, they feel like I'm in control of you. So people will make you like try to belittle you. Yeah. And that's the fear that you bring. For me, it was more like embarrassment. Mm-hmm. For me, it was more than anything, it was embarrassment. Like, I couldn't open up about it because I was so embarrassed. You know, that was my thing as a child. Like, I always said, I don't want my sons or my daughters to ever be embarrassed of me. Right? That was my trauma. Like, I was always embarrassed of my dad's action. I had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
But that's my father. That's my blood. Right? So when they seen that, I was always embarrassed. I would not talk about it because I was embarrassed.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I was worried about people talking, mentioning. I really don't care.
Yeah.
Because I know the dad I am today.
Oh.
And I know the dad I'm becoming. I know the dad that provides for his child. I know the dad that loves his kid, truly loves his kids. Right? I'm that dad. So does it faze me or bother me? No, I don't care. Because it actually showed that when he seen the bad child I had, I'm now making sure that my son doesn't witness such a bad dad like that. Of course, I have to still work on. Of course, my son had witnessed things that aren't great, right? Because of my childhood, it reflects. But I'm working on it, like we all are.
Yeah.
Right? And that's I openly say. But one thing I make it clear to everyone: family's first. Love my kids. So, always work on yourself. That's what I would say. That's the bottom line. Always work on yourself. Always.
Wow.
And if talk to people, talk to professionals, talk to families. But it's better to open up than just to hold things. And I think if you witness everyone that comes out to the light and start talking, you see their big release. So just think about it. You want to have one thing I always want to have in mind. I always tell my wife is peace of mind, and it's hard, but it's very healthy to have a peace of mind. You have to have a peace of mind. You don't know when is your last day. You have to have a peace of mind. Holding all this grudge, all that background, all that stuff. Once you know how good I feel that before my dad passed away, I opened up to him. He passed away, and I was like, all right, he passed away. Yeah, it hurt me because my father.
Yeah.
But deep down, I don't feel anything anymore. No grudge, no hate towards him, nothing. God knows what happened to him at that moment in his life.
Yeah.
I don't know what he went through in his childhood. Can't blame him, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm more like, thank you, Dad, for being the dad you were, because I'm not like that. I'm not. So, and I would never be like that. So that actually motivated me to like having a bad father. I say thank you to God.
Wow.
More than anything, I don't look at the negative about it. I look at it like thank you, Dad, for being that type of father, and maybe the father I am today, and also maybe mentally strong and ready for life.
Wow.
So I look at it in the positive, like thank you, God. That's what I say to everyone. Thank you, Dad, for this person I had in my life, because I am who I am because of the hard childhood I had, and that's why I have a strong mindset, right, of achieving, pushing positivity, because I don't want to be in that world anymore.
Okay.
I'm looking for a positive life. I'm looking for this, things like that. People like you that we're from the same from the same neighborhood, we're growing together. You look where you're at today, look where I'm at today. That's what I look for. I look for my friends that I came from the same neighborhood, and I see them growing. That makes me happy. Wow. I love to see people grow. I hate seeing people not grow. And when I see small-minded people, I try to speak to them like, grow. I know your background. I know your past is not easy. Overcome it. Everyone's overcoming it. Just overcome it. Because we're going to sit here and cry and whine. What is that going to solve?
Nothing.
Nothing. It's all about your mindset. Go for it. Hustle.
Yeah.
You have kids behind you. You have people watching you. My family, when they see my wife, they tell her, this is like a different person. Because I'm mentally always thinking like, how can I better myself? I'm mentally thinking of what I'm doing wrong. Why am I like this? That's one of my things. Why am I like this? Why am I doing this? I was talking to my wife. It's very important. The partner you marry, they need to check you. Like, wow. Either or. Relationship is the biggest thing in this. People think it's like, at least growing a legacy. Guys, I am not who I am. It wasn't for Heidi. And I'll say it strongly. If it wasn't for Heidi, I am not who I am. Simple. Heidi is my backbone. Heidi is the one that's pushing to be this big person.
See, that's the key difference, though. A lot of people don't understand, like, having a strong partner behind you. It's like, oh, I gotta win. I have to do better. And like, if I stop, I lose. I gotta keep on going. And I want to give you your flowers, because, like, we came from the same neighborhood. We came from rough areas, and in the South Bronx, that's nothing to laugh at. Yeah. And seeing how you humbly just like, hey, you know what? I'm going to continue to work. I'm going to continue to grind out. I'm going to continue to grow. I'm going to continue to expand and expound my ideology and my mindset and what I need to do. And brother, man, you've grown into a phenomenal man that's only getting better. Like, this is your chapter 1. What I'm seeing, you're only expanding so much, and just having your own family, your circle of people that you can trust to build a company. That's important.
It's a family business.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And like, hearing the knowledge that you expand on real estate, and like, hey, buy. Worry, like, you know, if you're afraid to jump and you're still standing on the edge, just jump.
And it goes back to this. I do definitely want to share this tip.
Yeah.
If you didn't qualify, you won't be able to buy it. These banks are so strict now.
Yeah.
If you don't qualify, because you can't afford it. If you qualify, take advantage. There's no other words. Take advantage. This is an opportunity. And I say it to everyone. When you get an opportunity, take advantage of it. Take your blessings. You're getting pre-approved in these tough market and these tough interest rate that people think is tough, right? Because we're so spoiled for such a long time.
Yeah.
People think it's tough. No, it's not tough. I'm doing it. You could do it. We all doing it. We all in the same position. We all live in the same place. We all in the United States, right? Well, whoever lives here, right? But we all on the same planet.
Yeah.
Interest rates going to go up and down. We all got to make money.
Yeah.
This is a business. The banks needs to make their money, right? They got to control what's going on. So they bring the rates up. Simple. But when they go down, you have the option. Refinance. That's it. Rates go down to 2. I'm going to refinance all my properties. It is what it is. Simple.
All right, brother man. I will give you your closing question right now.
Please.
Investing in real estate can be a lucrative venture, but it also carries risk. What advice do you have for individuals looking to invest in real estate, especially those who are new to the market?
Best advice I could give you is look at your situation at the moment. How comfortable you feel. If you want to start off with a condo, you want to start off with a single family, 2 family, to help you with the income of with your mortgage, a 3 family. All depends on your position. That's what I say to everyone. All depends where you're standing, how much you qualify for, right? The best thing to do is to buy property. There's no buts or if. There's so much benefits to it, and I could keep going on with the beneficial of it. There's more benefit to you to buy a property, but it's your decision to make it, right?
Yeah.
But what I always say is focus more on the mortgage payment. Focus more on saving as much money as you can, because things gonna happen down the road. For instance, like about a month ago, my boiler shut off. What I had to do, replace it. Right? It was about $10,000 I had to go invest. But remember, it's not waste. It's called investment. Don't confuse it. It's called investment. It's not waste. It's called investment. Anything you do to your property, you have to sometimes do fixing to your property. But it's called investment. Right? So being a homeowner is the best thing that can ever happen. Why? Because you're not worrying about your landlord coming tomorrow and telling you, hey, I need the property vacant because my mother want to move in. Right? Also, you're gonna have a 30-year contract with the bank with the same payment, unless the taxes go up or your insurance. But beside that, you're gonna have the same payment. But what a landlord, right? You're gonna be increasing every year. Some landlord will increase $50 to $150 every year. So also you're on the edge. Once your lease is up, you're on the edge. Because you don't know what's going to happen. What if he wants to bring somebody in? What if he wants to increase your rent? What are you going to do in that situation? Are you going to really continue paying rent when it's 100% of interest rate? 100? Really? Guys, look at the bigger picture. Do it. I did it. But most importantly, if you qualify, if you get pre-approved and you qualify, pull the trigger, guys. Don't even think about it. Pull the trigger. Why sit there and think about it? Why continue sending that money to drain if you're paying 100% of interest rate when you pay rent? Why continue sending that money to drain? Why not build, if you love your kids, I always say that, build a legacy for your kids. Provide to your kids. Give them that life that myself didn't have or others. So I'm in that situation. I'm in most of the situation that come from the bottom. I literally came from the bottom. Started off renting a little room. And once I met my wife, we were sharing the same dreams and the goals. And I married her in 6 months. Literally meeting her in 6 months, we got married. Wow. And now we've been 6 years married. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Right? So, also your partner. That's important, right? But, me and my wife share the same dreams. So we end up buying a house together instantly. We got married 6 months in. And then I will say within the year, we bought a house. Yeah. So we had the same dream and goal together. So we bought the house, and I'll tell you, man, I have been creating so many beautiful memories that I still sit in my phone and just watch pictures after picture. Like, oh my God, I think my daughter's party here in the backyard, right? So we created these memories for my kids and myself. Memories is all you're going to take when you're not here anymore. It's all about memories. Wow. So that's the most thing I can tell you is buy your home, guys. If you're a first time buy. If you're an investor, continue building legacy. Continue building wealth for your family. Real estate is where it's at, right? So I will always say that real estate, where it's at. When you're buying real estate, it's the best investment you're doing. It's the only investment. One of the only investment. You sleeping, you're producing money. This property went up tremendously since last year. Well, this last year, this one. My other property went up tremendously, right? What am I doing? Building wealth for my kids. If tomorrow my daughter wants to become a doctor, I don't know how much it is. What I be hearing is like $300,000 to $500,000 of school. I'll sell that property so my daughter can have a great future. That's the thing. Well, I need to secure my family, my kids' future. I want to make sure they're set before I'm out of here. I need to make sure my kids and my wife is set. That's like my drive right there. My wife and my kids got to be set in the next 20 years. So I'm going to do anything that's possible to make it happen. So do the same for your family if you love your family. Do the same. Guys, I'm here. Just call me. I'm here to talk about real estate and any questions you have. But I was in your shoes. And the shoes I was in came from the bottom, from the South Bronx. Single mother that raised us. And I appreciate my mother, Maria.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. If you ain't tuning in, that's some grown man talking right there, son. That's wow. Yo, man, if you need a home, buy, sell, whatever, Quintessential Mortgage Group, son.
EXP Realty.
Oh my God. All their information going to be in the description below. Continue to tune in. I appreciate you guys tuning in, man. Alex, thank you for being here, brother, man. I appreciate it, dog.
Thank you, bro. It's an honor.
Oh, man.
Seriously.
Stay tuned. Next episode coming up.